Dynamite Headdy is one of the best games on the Mega Drive. The graphics, the gameplay, the sound, everything about this game oozes magnificence and creativity. It was developed by the Japanese studio Treasure, the guys who made Gunstar Heroes and Ikaruga, and Stretch Panic. They have a pretty good pedigree, and games like Stretch Panic, although weird as fuck and probably insane, showcase Treasure's creativity and willingness to experiment. They made a bunch of good games in the 90s, and they're still around today making games such as Sin and Punishment Star Successor and a few Bleach fighting games. Dynamite Headdy definitely ranks amongst Treasure's more obscure titles. While most people have seen or at least heard of Gunstar Heroes or Ikaruga, mentioning Dynamite Headdy normally raises eyebrows. The confused kind, not the rock kind. This is a massive shame, because Dynamite Headdy deserves the praise that Gunstar Heroes and Ikaruga get. It's a timeless video game, and it's a masterpiece. The first thing you'll notice when you start the game is a strange but wonderful art style. The opening cutscene has more creativity and style in 30 seconds than some games have in 10 hours. The animations are smooth as butter, the colour palette is perfect, and they even use some interesting effects to give the illusion of 3D. Look at all those floating balls! Treasure also don't put all their human creativity into the foreground. There's a lot going on behind it too. Clouds float by, held by harnesses, men work tirelessly rotating winches, and there's even a creepy face that pops up every now and again. Ugh. By the way, have you noticed anything odd about this game's art style? Yep, everything is a puppet or moves with a mechanism. Everything is a stage show. Dark Demon, this game's main antagonist, comes to Northtown and starts stealing puppets to convert into his evil army. Headdy attempts to stop one of the puppet napper robots, but instead gets captured. After going through a line, Headdy is rejected by Dark Demon's machines and is thrown into the dust cargo, which is heading for the incinerator. Oh god, not the incinerator! Headdy busts out, freeing other rejected puppets along with him, and begins his journey to defeat Dark Demon. After a short running segment, you reach the end of the stage, and the background is pulled down, revealing a cat puppet named Trouble Brewing. This game is going to be full of puns. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck this. See you later. This arsehole is jealous of Headdy's popularity and success, so he tries to destroy Headdy, but fails. Several times. In fact, each time you fight TB, he's got a different body, which adds exciting twists to the boss battles. I guess this is similar to Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog, except this game has good boss battles. Pow pow! We'll get more in depth with the boss battles later, but first let me just give you the basics of the gameplay. Handily enough, there's a tutorial section in the game, and although skippable, I always find myself doing them anyway. That's the sign of a well-designed game. This is the sign of a poorly designed game. Anyway, these tutorial stages teach you how to aim your attack, how to use the grapple climb feature, and give you a chance to come to grips with the different heads in the game. There are about 18 in total, and some are useful all the time, like the slammer head. Some are good to have in certain situations, like the vacuum head, and one which is never useful, the head trip, which is there just to piss you off during the boss battles, the fucking dicks. There's also a head which takes you to the special stage, shooting hoops! Numbers? I don't want to remember numbers, I want to give enemies a head! Lamau. Speaking of enemies, there's quite a few, and they fit the setting and the theme of the level very well. There are also mini-bosses, some of which are optional. A snake-like mini-boss who shoots balls of fire, a puppet who has two forms, and a dancing robot who has a suction power. Whoa! Whoa! Are those boobs? Glowing boobs?
High voltage! When we cut, when we kiss, when we touch.
Now we get on to my favourite part of this game, the sound. I love the music in this game, and I wouldn't hesitate in saying it's one of the best soundtracks on any 16-bit game out there. Each level has its own style, and nothing ever sounds repetitive. The melodies are hooky, the drum patterns are inspired and perfectly capture the tempo the track is moving at, and the bass lines groove and carry the music without ever being too overstated or understated. Simply put, the music in Dynamite Headdy is a finely tuned work of art, and everything does its job perfectly. 4 composers worked on this game, and it shows. There's a nice variety in tone and theme. 1 minute you're grooving along to the steady groove, and next you're speeding through the longest backstage ever, frantically trying to get out of Trouble Brewing's grasp. Mwah! Beautiful! Since we're here, let me talk to you about boss battles now. Some are quite easy once you figure out what the hell to do, and some are quite hard even after you've cracked the strategy. This giant toy dog is as easy as anything, but this Trouble Brewing tower boss battle is quite tense, and you'll probably find yourself falling off quite regularly. After a boss battle with some more cool 3D effects, it's time to fly. These stages are undoubtedly the hardest in the game though. After the first stage, which is hard as fuck, we get to Trouble Brewing in a tight passageway. Again, hard as fuck. After Trouble Brewing, we get what is essentially a reflex test, something to drain your life before the boss. Okay, boss time. I guess it'll be some sort of fly. Okay, that's quite creepy.